Hello everyone. I know it has been quite a while since I've actually done something with this goddamn game. Or any game regarding my recording. But as you can see today I am back and today we're going to be playing Code Vein. I will be going through all of the game to the best of my ability, and when I say that, I'm just gonna beat the game. And as you see at the bottom of the screen, we have the Hellfire Knight, the Frozen Empress, and the Lord of Thunder DLC expansions. At the current time of this setup, I have not beaten the Lord of Thunder, but again, because I need to experience it together. And little warning ahead of time, there will be jank in this because I'm recording this on my Xbox. Only up to 10 minutes of recording at a time, so if you see some awkward transitions, you can see that. Previous saves, I've beaten the game already, so I do know the story. And throughout this section, I will be talking to a very small minimum, or try not to talk at all during the cutscenes. And we will be starting this playthrough with a quote-unquote new character, because in actuality, you'll see, and get used to seeing lots and lots of load times between each of the segments, because this game is long, mainly due to how the areas work.
Can you hear me? Think back. Search your memory for an image of yourself.
Okay, good thing subtitles are on, because as you can see, you can choose to remember your name or your appearance first. In actuality, it doesn't really matter which one you choose to remember first, but I would choose to go with your appearance first, because you are going to be on this for a long period of time. And as you can see, you choose between playing as a male or female. There was a small delay at the beginning, but it really does not matter which one you play. It's just whatever, like you gotta call it he or she, whatever pronouns associated with them. And as you can see, there's a robust customization section. I will be going with the physical character, but as you can see, you can customize your height, your body type as you saw, everything in between. But I'm just going to load up appearance because, as I said earlier, the only time I really play this game is just when I go on here to fuck around with customizations. As you can see, that's the first one I started with. Pretty basic, generic anime protagonist look, in my opinion. Here's another one my brother, he made. And as you can see, there's a lot of females on here because I am bored and I have nothing to do. And as you can see, this character, well, you see the name. But that's what I really do with this game before I decided to start recording. And as you can see, you can enter your name and your code name. And, well, it really does not matter what you put for your name or code name because they do not utter your name once. I believe they just call you, well, it'll pop up later in the story, so I guess I won't say anything for now. So you can enter your name, you see Perry, that's kind of obvious, and I put Omega just for the code name. The code name, I believe, shows up in multiplayer, and I don't do multiplayer for this game, so it really does not matter. You'll primarily be going through this game, not really solo, but you can go through with the group. See, that's our physical appearance. That's what you look like, and we will be transported to, I guess this is the more annoying sections whenever you start up the game, because every game in my opinion has this, and I call this world tutorial world, as like a lot of tutorial worlds in a lot of different games, it's blank, it's a void, and there's usually only one person here to teach you the very basics of the game. Now, sometimes I would just skip this if I'm just going for a regular playthrough, but since I'm uploading this to YouTube and post, I thought, you know what, I'll just kind of go through the motions and allow it to show. You can actually skip it by going to the missile right there, that little glowing white thing, and you can skip the tutorial.
They finally meet. Are you clear-headed?
Not really, I'm in the tutorial world.
Born as an immortal creature, the Revenant. There are things you will need to know in your new life.
So as you can see, you're, like I said earlier, this is a Souls-like game, meaning you're basically an immortal creature who can't die, quote unquote. But this one's a bit different. Alright? As you can see, this is kind of bland. You can see in your bottom left, you have your haze, that's basically your souls. You have your health bar, and as you open up the screen, you got your blood code, which exists right in the middle. Your blood veil, which is your armor. You got your two main weapons. You have passive abilities, and you have active abilities. Passive being they don't affect your combat. Active being you would use them in combat. You have your healing item being regeneration, the Estus of this game if you really want to get in there. And you have your blood code, fire. It's a very basic combat focused blood code. You don't get a lot of different skills, and I believe most of the active violent abilities you get, I believe, are just physical. With the exception of like two, I believe. And as you see over here with your active abilities at the top left, you have the combination of all of them. I actually don't know what all the symbols mean. I do believe like the first two, well, the first two after the one and the far left being like a combination of all, just showing all of them. It's just the first one being projectile based, meaning like you shoot out stuff. I believe that one's strap based. This one is stat buffs. I don't remember what either of the last two do, but I do know that, correction, I know what the very last one is. The very last one with the two heads is your combo moves, which you'll see later happen in the game. Well, I say that, but not really. You hold right trigger, you use your special abilities, your active combat gifts. Basically, think of it in like a JRPG, with the party setup. Your active skills will be on the bottom right, and you can pull them up at different times to help you in combat. They can range from, like I said earlier, to mostly effects you could see in a typical JRPG. A fireball, a little, I guess you could say a bug bite of a move. And we're moving on to combat. X or square for your weak ones if you're playing on X PlayStation, and triangle or Y for your strong attacks. You have B for dodge, you have LB for guard. And you can click onto your opponents with your by clicking the left stick. Now, as you can see, I really do not like the tutorial world, as I was just sitting there kind of just going back to see how much I hate this. You can see a guard go up, and light. This is only for the purpose of the tutorial. You don't really take recoil damage, you don't take damage at all. As you can see right there, by pressing left trigger at just the right time, you parry your opponent. And as you can see by the health bars, you have a lot more in consideration to your typical RPG. Or I guess you could say Souls clone. Now, the problem, I guess I should get this out of the way right now. There is, I say, a problem with the enemies, is that in comparison to, I guess, like the only other two Souls games I played, being Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, is that the enemies have a lot of tankiness in comparison to those games. They can just go through each of your attacks like they're nothing. And I guess I'll get into it a bit later. As you see, we have a new blood code to test out. This one being Ranger. This one is more field focused and has better passive abilities. And I guess you could say it's closer to a recon or a dex build gift code. Blood code, you could say, that has more dexterous abilities. And as you can see, in most RPGs or in most games, stats dictate what weapons you can use. And the weapons, we're going from left to right. We have your one-handed weapons, like I said, one-handed swords. You have two-handed great swords. You have your halberds, which also I believe include war clubs. Basically, just a lance with something on the end of it. Usually, it will be a sharp pointing thing, and very rarely will it be a mace or a club. You have a great hammer, and as you see, it's grayed out. You can't use it. And bayonets. Bayonets, in my opinion, are not very good weapons in this game, mainly due to the fact that they're used for bug bites. I haven't experimented with a bunch of them, but I have tried a few, mainly a very special one that you have to do a bit of effort to get into, which is okay, and it does serve its purpose well, but it really is not that good in my opinion. They're bug bites, and you have better skills to work with that. Most of the gifts that you start off with, like your quote-unquote mage class, if you want to see, they kind of do the same thing, and the shots with the bayonet, because well, it's a gun, they don't really do a whole lot of damage. And as you can see right now, getting into another combat with Lost, your whole day, that's for your drain attacks. You gain more Icar, basically means more mana, more magic, more fun. And you just drain more, usually that will knock them down. And I just want to hurry up and get this over with quickly. And we'll see, parry, it basically kills them outright. And if I could get this just right, if you press your light attack right at your weak attack right behind certain enemies, you basically get a better drain attack, and you can knock them out with little to no trouble. Now, another, I guess you could see from the earlier demonstrations how you attack, and they're going through tutorial world. Hate this place. Tutorial world basically gives you, it just tells you how different playstyles you go throughout the game, and you can actually change these playstyles on a whim. You can change, it's not like in Dark Souls where you'll have to dedicate your build right at the beginning, like, oh, I'm gonna be a tanky physical fighter, or I'm going to be a nimble caster. No, you can actually change it on the fly, and you could be a caster, you basically be your mage class, or you could be a physical fighter, and you could do that. You see, a very weak bloodshot, that's the thing, that's what I did right there is the equivalent of a bayonet shot, even from a fully upgraded weapon. But anyways, alright, so you see we go to the missile, and this is basically, they're the bonfires, they're the lanterns. And you could choose, as you saw at the bottom, to skip the tutorial. You don't have to do any of this technically, but I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, and I want you all to suffer with me. Blazing Roar, as you saw, it costs 560 haze, your souls of this game, to activate, and haze is just your souls, I guess. As soon as you get an ability, you can equip it right away, but I'll get into this later. And as you can see, the stronger abilities, as the previous one, Bloodshot, I believe was called, only took up 2, Blazing Roar took up 6. The stronger abilities take up more points to use. They take up more points, and if they take up more points, they usually do more damage, which is good, but doing more damage comes at the cost of casting speed, and sometimes you don't have the casting speed, so it's sometimes better to just go with weak weapons. And just want to hurry up and get out of tutorial world, and you can just spam certain abilities because they refill so quickly, like Bloodshot. I was able to cast 2 of those, and Blazing Roar did a majority of the damage, but Bloodshot started it, and it ended it. So as you see right here, going throughout the game, basically like Cruz says, because I'm sick of tired of being quiet, because this is it's tutorial world. You don't have to listen to this. But she's right, you can get more abilities. And there, we are done with the tutorial. Again, since I'll be recording most of my commentary in post, I will cut out most of the load screens between each of the transitions, because you'll see this a lot, mainly from teleporting from one area to another. It's not like Dark Souls, where most of the areas are generated together. This one right here, you'll see that a lot, from going to your main hub world, hub area, to exploring the outer worlds, and it can get quite annoying at sometimes. Oh, hello. like the night after shore leave, to quote Commander Shepard. Cutscenes like these, I will typically be quiet, but if there's like long pauses, I will tend to jump in at times here and there. Like this, as you can see, the world isn't the best place right now. Let's look all that visually appealing. That's putting it mildly in my case. And how did you get here if you don't remember? Actually, you know what? Never mind. I don't want to know how you got here. And you're barely covered in anything. I like this game a lot more now. Going back to this, this will be, I don't know how many parts this will be. I could just blitz through the story and completely forget to record, or I could go through it. As you see, like I said, the world's gone to hell. You see giant spikes sticking out of the ground. What are you? Giant metallic glowing spikes at that. Buildings are destroyed, rubbles everywhere. Like, what's going on? What happened? It's like the apocalypse came and went. And it's like the apocalypse came and went and just left a few survivors, like it does in every other movie. And sometimes games. Which I now realize is a lot more than I played, so I'm gonna check back up in the library after that. But what happened to the world? Will we actually be alright? And what spring? I don't see a spring, but who knows? You will have to find out next time after. Thank you, girl in white. I was explaining. You'll find out next time after we finish this. Welcome to Code Vein, everybody. It's gonna be a fun one.